So why you're in the HP garage, what we're going to talk
Yes.
about today.
Absolutely. I'm in the original HP garage, which is considered to be the birthplace of Silicon Valley. It's where David Packard and William Hewlett invented the audio oscillator almost 80 years ago. So I'm sitting in a little piece of history here, if you could see it. I'm excited because I'm partnering with HP. They're doing a great campaign called Get Real, which I think is super important. It's about balancing your digital life and your real life.
That's so cool. And I want to talk to you about that in just a second, but I have a couple other questions first.
Sure.
So the first thing I want to talk about is, so this year you starred as, Mom Helene on, in Tall Girl, and as Miss Wallace in extracurricular activities. So both of these are very, comedic mom roles.
Yes.
And I was curious if that's a character that you really enjoy playing, being a mom yourself.
I love playing the mom. I will play it all day long as they will hire me because it's so fun. And, a little bit of real life can sneak in, but I love it.
And what were some things that you enjoyed most about being on those productions this year?
Well, Tall Girl, we filmed in New Orleans, and I have a lot of family in Louisiana. My sister was able to come spend the weekend with me, so that was really fun. But also, I loved the message of Tall Girl. I loved that it was about just being okay with who you are and being accepting of yourself and celebrating what makes you different. So I thought that was a great message.
Yeah, and then what about extracurricular activities?
That was just fun. It's just, that was just me getting to be sort of vapid and just maybe the mom you don't really want. But both were really fun projects. And I played the mom in Haters Back Off for Netflix as well. And so I'm on a mom roll. So keep them coming.
Well, and I actually was going to talk about Haters Back Off next, because that TV show has a lot to do with social media and, spending time in a digital world and kind of having that be this huge, social dynamic for Miranda Sings. And I was just curious if you learned a lot about technology and the pros and cons of it being on that set.
Who I learned it from was Colleen Ballinger, who created the character Miranda Sings. I really, really didn't know much about YouTube. I know I'm a dinosaur. I know people know about YouTube, but all I really knew about YouTube was like what my kids like, which is cat fails,
Right.
Like basically anything to do with kittens or puppies, because I have younger kids. But it is, really interesting, that culture of just YouTube and being a YouTuber. And I really feel like there needs to be a balance between your digital life and real life. And it's something that I do feel passionate about. And it's like conversations that I had even with Colleen about how to balance that.
Yeah, and you've also starred in, other productions about kind of technology, media, and even politics, like in Swing State, which isn't, which touches on subjects that aren't really too far off from what we're dealing with, now in the political world today. How are you as an actor, with your own busy life, and, amongst this political spectra, keeping yourself grounded in the real world, kind of keeping your sanity through all of it?
Well, I just think, as a mom, my focus really and truly are my children. And that, for parents out there, I have an 11-year-old daughter and I have 2 stepsons that are 11 and 9. And that's a full-time job, really it is. And so any free time I have from work, it's just about them. And that really keeps you grounded, keeps you in the moment, keeps you in the present. And I just want to create fun memories for us and turn off devices, turn off the TV, and interact with one another. And so I really just make that my focus. I crave that time with them. I've heard from other parents that as your kids get older, you're not the people they want to hang out with anymore. So right now, my kids still really, really want to hang out with us, and we're still cool and fun. So I am just trying to hold on to all of that while I can.
Yeah. Are there any things? Did you learn any tricks also being on? Because when you're at your own home, you can kind of shut everything, turn out the world and focus on your kids and your family. But did you learn any tricks on set, when you're with all of your co-stars and with a bunch of other people and the cameras are rolling? Are there any tricks that you learned on how to kind of stay grounded while you're on the set?
Well, well, first of all, as far as technology goes, when you're on a set, you have to turn everything off anyway, right? So it's actually it's a great vacuum to be in, because I remember like having a full day on set and being like, oh, what happened in the world today? Because your phones are off. So being on a set actually does help with that. And I know a lot of people at their workplace, you can't be, on your phone, like on social media or doing things like that. So I think that is really good and probably leads to more productivity, right?
Yeah.
But I think just as far as staying grounded, I have a very big Southern family, and they are not impressed easily in a very healthy way. So they keep me very grounded. Like there's no chance of me ever getting a big head, because they are not going to have it.
Not to say you don't deserve it, though. We all know you from Angela from The Office. So, that's a pretty big thing to be proud of.
Well, thank you.
So speaking of family, it's obviously really important to you, not just with your everyday life and, staying kind of focused on your kids, but also playing all these mom roles. And you're also on this family cooking show, Be Our Chef, on Disney Plus, coming this fall, right?
Yes, I'm really excited about that. It's two families, and they get to go to Disney World, and they do cooking challenges based on Disney themes. And I'm the host, and I got so attached to all the families, and it was like, I think I cried, I don't know, almost every week by the end of it, because they're so invested and they're working so hard together, and only one can win, right? Only one family, and they win a Disney Cruise Line vacation. So, which is awesome. I know, it's so cool. So I loved it. It's called Be Our Chef, and I'm excited for that to be out.
That's awesome. And was that a really cool chance for you to kind of get to be a part of other people's families and enjoy that dynamic that you love so much?
Oh, yeah. The kitchen is where we always hang out, right? I feel like our biggest life moments happen in the kitchen. That's where you share and connect. And so it was fun to see that in other people's families as well. And my family got to fly out to Disney World. We'd never been, and we got to do Disney World. So it was a win-win-win.
That's awesome. And so my last couple questions, I know I only have a minute left, but you're also starring in, this is a little bit of a segue from everything else, but you're starring in a Weekend at Bernie's film, Keep Hope Alive. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if you had been a fan of the Weekend at Bernie's films before starring in this.
I grew up, during that era of movies, and I loved Weekend at Bernie's. I loved it. And so it was fun to be in one.
Yeah, and so, you and another person are kind of trying to put on this ruse that this politician who died is still alive, the typical Weekend at Bernie's theme, that someone who's passed on is actually still with us.
Yeah.
So it's a very comedic take on politics.
Yes.
Do you think that this film is something that the world really needs right now, especially with politics being so tense, that something like this kind of shows the more comedic sides of it?
I hope so. I hope, we can all just kind of give each other a break and maybe just laugh a little bit together. That's definitely the hope, right? Maybe if we're laughing together, we can all work together.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I think that's all the questions I have, so thank you so much, Angela, for taking the time to chat with me, using technology for a positive thing.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and you can go to hp.com/getreal to learn how to balance your digital and real life, which is so important. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Angela.
Bye.